What's up, guys? What a finale! Okay, so I tried recording this last night, but I generally could not get the words out. I could not coherently express my thoughts. So I'm doing this now because I've had a while to let it marinate a little bit, settle in, whatnot. Let the dust settle. So okay, obviously spoilers. I'm gonna be talking about everything. I'm gonna be talking about everything. Okay, doesn't matter. Every fucking spoiler. Okay, but first, before we talk about the ending, I wanna point out something that the show does really well. That I think it's also really important to understand in life. So throughout the show, it is shown constantly characters doing really bad things that we as the audience are like, that's really unjustified. Or like, why the fuck would they even do that shit, right? Whether it be Beritovo or Reiner or Gabby being complete assholes towards the Paradise people for absolutely no reason. Well, there is a reason, which is that they were indoctrinated into this way of thinking, right? Think back to the Tibir guy, Tiber, whatever the fuck, the guy who got eaten right when Eren transformed in Marley for the first time. This man said almost verbatim, I more than anyone, I would love to see Eldians get eradicated. That motherfucker was an Eldian. Okay, like think about how strong the hate, the the indoctrination has to be for one to be like, yes, I wish for my own race to be fucking eradicated. And this ideology clashes head on when Gabby meets the girl who got saved by Sasha. And she's like, what did my mom do? And then Gabby, all she could say was, well, your ancestors did bad things. And then she was like, what did my mom do though? Right? Like she didn't fucking do anything. That they giving so what I'm trying to get at here, giving the circumstances in which the Eldian Marlians, the Eldians from Marlene, given the circumstances they were brought up in, it's completely understandable to be like, okay, I get why they hate the Island Devil so much, right? You might not agree with it, which obviously I don't. That's fucking that's so stupid. Like especially when the people on the island have no idea about any of this, right? At the start of the season, and then as the season goes on, only like a select few group of people actually know what the fuck is going on, right? So it's really silly. Same with Zeke snitching out his parents. At first, I mean, at least me personally, I was like, why the fuck would you do that, bro? But then you go into the backstory of what actually happened, and you see how shitty they were towards him. They see how that if they get found out, they're gonna get sent to the island. And then the Beast Titan at the time, I forgot his name, he's like, yo, if all of you are gonna go to the island, it might as well just be all of you except you. So fucking snitch them out. And it makes sense. So what I'm trying to get at here is that in life, you will always see people do evil things. And I don't personally think, this is just an opinion of mine, I don't think it's valid, or not, maybe not valid. I don't think it's useful to point out those people and say, okay, they are inherently different than us, and I'm gonna hate them because of what they did. And you can hate them because of what they did, but I'm just saying, like, under different circumstances, think about if Reiner was born in Paradise. Do you still think that he would still hate the Island Devils? Of course not, because the circumstances that he's brought up in would give him a different perspective than the perspectives that he has throughout the show, right? So if you think back to I don't know, someone who's done like a really evil thing, chances are, and I'm not trying to justify what they do, not at all, not whatsoever, because no matter what circumstances you're brought up in, even if they're fucking horrible, you still have the choice to not commit evil acts upon the world. But all I'm saying is that you can think back to a really bad person, but if you were to see the circumstances that led to them doing that, you maybe you wouldn't feel bad for them, but you would be like, okay, I can understand why you did the things you did. I'm just saying it's not useful to classify people as evil people as inherently different than us, because at the end of the day, we're all products of our environment. If we would have ended up If we would have grown up in that evil person's shoes, in their circumstances, there's a chance that we might have turned out to do the exact same thing. Okay, so I'm just not trying to justify bad things happening. Obviously, horrible. Everyone still has the choice at the end of the day. But I'm saying that it's important to understand why people do the things they do so we can stop future. So if we see those circumstances happening in the future to another person, for instance, if someone gets bullied and they do, you know what, right? Maybe in the future, when we see someone else getting bullied, we can be like, okay, these circumstances lead to will probably lead to this person, not probably, but like can lead to this person to do really bad things. So let me try to step in and be proactive about it, right? Not just do something after the fact and be like, oh, thoughts and prayers, you know. But I'm just saying it's important to understand why people do the things they do if you want to, well, if you want to change them from doing said things. That's all I'm saying. And I think the show demonstrates that really well because they show a person doing a really bad thing that you would be like, well, why the fuck would they do that? But then later on, you're like, oh, they were indoctrinated, or oh, they got treated like shit, or oh, they had no other choice. So, and speaking of no other choice, that's when I'm gonna get to the ending. Okay. So one of the examples that I didn't bring up earlier was Eden starting the rumbling, but I would 100% put it in that criteria. So the ending, man. I really like the ending. I do. Was it sad as fuck? Yes. Do I? So okay. Okay. I really do feel like people didn't like the ending just because it was sad, and I get that. Okay. And when we look towards fiction, we want to see, the characters that we like be good, be happy, have the happy ending. But that's not the case. If we think back to the first episode of this fucking show, the amount of death, the amount of destruction, the amount of misery that goes on in just the first episode, let alone the whole series, there was just no way in hell that this show was gonna have a happy ending. There was just no way. And actually, that's not even the main reason. It's mainly two reasons, right? It's that and the fact that the hate for Eldians was so fucking much, dude. It was so much. The second to last episode, when Eden is walking towards, or walking towards the that mountain where the final military operation goes, where they drop in all the explosives and shit. The guy in charge rightfully identifies that this is the result of their hate. This is the result of their hatred marching right at them. I don't see, because even Hanji herself states, I gave Eden no possible other choice, no better future, right? And keep in mind, Eden already hated, maybe not hated, but probably did hate Marlians before he lived amongst them. And when he lived amongst them, he saw firsthand how strong that hatred was. Do you really? I mean, if you were to see that firsthand, where it's Eldians getting treated like complete dog shit for absolutely no fucking reason, man, that scene where Eden's dad, Zeke, and Eden's dad's wife goes on top of like a tower or something, and then the guy's like so nice, like, oh, I didn't know we got customers here. And then as soon as he saw the fucking armband, he fucking splashes them with water. It's like, dude, are you serious right now? It's so stupid. um Zeke, in terms of actual, like, possible outcomes that could have happened, I mean, we saw in the alternative future, right? Like, Eren could have just lived with Mikasa and then just let Marley completely fuck over and invade Paradise Island, right? It's a difficult choice. And other people may say, well, Eren could have just, just destroyed the fleet. And sure, as one character states out, that would set back the countries for around 100 years or so to set back the attack for like 100 years on Paradise Island. But after that 100 years, man, what are you gonna do? What now, man? Do you think Marley of all countries is gonna be like, all right, man, let me not fuck with those guys? Obviously not. They'll probably would have just kept going, man. Like that's just the hatred was so big, so intense for the island. There was really no other choice, I personally believe. Now, did he have to kill 80% of humanity? Probably not. He probably didn't have to go that far. But Zeke's plan was just like some bitch shit. I'm sorry. Like, no. If I'm in that situation, I would not be like, because again, it just goes back to the same ideology of the Tibir guy, where it's like, oh, I wish that my race was eradicated. Fuck that shit. Okay, it's my race, it's my people. You think I'm just gonna fucking no? Um, thinking, it was really, and this idea is even further reinstated, or not reinstated, but reinforced at the end where we see the city that Eden was buried next to gets fucking bombed. So nothing changes. Like the like hatred, war, it's never gonna change. It was literally just killed or be killed. And that's all Eren has known. Also, Mikasa towards the end of the show questions, I wonder if Eren was always like this. And I've obviously seen that scene before rewatching it again recently. So when I rewatched it, Eren was always like this. Eren was always like this fucking like Eren didn't really change. He's just always, his main drive has always been freedom, and freedom for everyone that he cares about. And that's what ultimately led to him, to how things ended up. Levi crying was something that, not gonna lie, I fucking predicted. Like, I was expecting that shit. Because when I was rewatching it, I saw Levi's reaction whenever like a really bad death happened. That man never cried. So I was like, okay, I can guarantee you that at the finale he's gonna cry. And then there he was, man. Oh man. Overall, really sad ending. But I mean, it was just bound to happen this way. It really was. So that's really it, man. So sad that it's over, but I'm satisfied with how it ended. So peace out.